Welcome to Pull the Pin Radio, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions about the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions.
But we can guarantee that you're going to like them better than Jim's intro.
Yeah, I'm Jim. Dude, oh gosh. Well, you're still some guy, I don't know, some young guy, whatever.
I don't even remember who I am this week.
I tell you, dude, this is what happens when I don't do this often. Like, you think I've done it. We're on like 400, we're on episode like 461 or something.
That's a
Like
lot of episodes.
Yeah, and that's not counting the handful of, in initials what we did in the beginning where everybody had their own episode or we had to, so we're probably close to 470 something. And yeah, and you think I'd have this intro down. And sometimes when I go say good morning to other people at my job, I think of this intro. It's the weirdest thing, but now that I'm in front of the camera, I haven't done it in a while, I go and stumble on it.
How ridiculous. Lights on, panic.
Yeah, how ridiculous is that, right? But anyways, welcome back. I wanted to give a shout outs to our normal whatchamacallit, viewers, subscribers, whatever you want to call them. Huh?
Johnny and Christine?
Yeah. Well, I don't have a name for them. We don't have a cool like crew or army or whatever. But yeah. So our normal supporters, Johnny, Christine, we see your comments. Christine, thanks for your feedback, all that stuff. It's awesome. By the time I get to recording, it's already, it's already probably past Johnny to the headlines. We're going to do some headlines for you, Johnny. But unfortunately, again, like I said, by the time we get to record now, some of the headlines get old, or some of the ones we even do are old. It doesn't matter. We're just going to make fun of it. And I think you wanted to make a clarification and give props back to Johnny, was it? Johnny?
Oh, right. Yeah. So when we were talking about repopulating the world, I threw out that 20,000 number. I added a zero. Okay. It's 2,000. It's not 20,000. Okay. So thank you for calling me out on my shit. Johnny, keep up the good work.
Yeah. And just to let you know, that would have made my argument way more valid at the moment too, but
no, it wouldn't. Your opinions are always wrong. You just said at the very beginning.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
The intro.
All right, fair enough. So what you're going to get today is more of my opinions. That's exactly what we're doing here. More opinions. But like I said earlier, we are going to go back to some headlines because somehow it is a little bit easier to stay on target. Although I do love these conversations. We just can go down so many rabbit holes. We need just an episode for rabbit holes. I think maybe we'll lean that. Like I said, this is still a growing process. It's a painful thing. BitChute doesn't take videos sometimes, and all these problems happen, and all we want to do is just put together a show. I don't want some broadcast nightmare. So we're just going to do what we do, and that's what we're going to do right now. It's already 3:40 into it, and we haven't talked about a single thing. So let's go ahead and do that. Denver mayor says he'll go to jail to stop deportations. Tom Homan says, sure.
So what, is Denver trying to be the new Chicago now? What's up?
Yeah.
I mean, look, oh my God, another politician in prison? Oh, shit.
Well, I guess he thought it worked for Trump, right?
I mean,
they think that, it worked for, I'm sorry, we got a delay because it sounds like I'm cutting you off, bro.
No. I'm still like, okay, why are people being deported? Oh, because they're here illegally? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, illegal immigration is called illegal for a reason. There's a process in place. Either use it or don't come. I mean, it's not fucking rocket science. If you want to go to jail because somebody else committed a crime, have at it. They're still going to jail with you. At least you'll have people in there to hang out with. Next headline.
Well, okay, I'm not gonna. There's not much more I can say about you. Just hail Tom Homan. But the thing I do want to say is this is the problem with these arguments. They try to conflate stuff. They try to say, "Oh, they're killing the babies. Oh, they're killing the babies." Look, this is strictly about people who broke the law need to pay the consequence. The consequence could be deportation. Price paid. It's not anything more than that. It's not about humanity. It's not about anything like that. We're not talking about a bunch of people who stumbled into America because they were running from cartel.
Or, it's not like oh shit, I forgot to take that left turn at Albuquerque and ended up in America. they were doing. And it's not like, the United States is saying, oh, fuck you, we don't want you here. No. Yeah, if you want to come, sure, whatever. Do it the right way.
Right.
And it's so funny because um yeah, I was a manager for a major American convenience store chain, right? A lot of my employees were immigrants. Okay. Um from Africa and Eastern Europe and blah 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 blah. But like, look, there is nobody in America that is more angry about illegal immigrants than people that came in the hard way.
Yep. And I say they try to turn it into this character thing. Are they good people? Yeah, overall they're good people. There's no doubt that there could be some good people in this mix. But in the
Yeah,
end,
we're
they
just
started
saying,
off
hey, if you want to come here, you have to do it the right way.
right. And their very first act is to break the law. Like, I mean, we always go back. I always try to go back to the house thing, like, bring it into your home. Like, literally, if some dude off the street literally crawled through your window and turned out to be a really nice guy, yeah, you may let him stay. But in the end, he crawled through your window. He initially deceived you. How do you trust that? I mean, how do you
I
trust
mean,
that?
it's not, I mean, it's not even a matter of trust. It's just like, I get it, desperate people, desperate measures, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. Okay. But still, there are processes in place for that.
Right.
If if things are so bad on the other side, okay, there are political asylum cases you can get. There are things that you can do. There are processes in place for that.
There are countries you can go to that are not the United States.
Well, I mean,
Well, no, the law, believe it or not, the law, I don't know if it's under the Geneva Convention or whatever, but the law is you go to the nearest sovereign country. You don't go to America. It doesn't say everyone who's fleeing oppression comes to America. That's not what it says.
well, yeah, I know that, but I'm just, I mean, if we're talking,
But if you're not,
whatever,
what the point I'm
people
getting
coming
at,
up through Mexico or
yes,
whatever,
if
right?
you're
Like
not Mexican, Mexico is your stop.
but Mexico fucking sucks too.
Doesn't matter. They're not oppressed in Mexico.
Tell that. Oh, well, I mean, that I feel like that's debatable, but
Well, you
I
sure,
mean,
but then you could say you're oppressed. Apparently, we are the most oppressive country in the world. So
well, yeah.
why would you come here? We're the most racist, oppressive country. Why do you want to be here?
I mean, that's a good question. I feel like we need to do one of those reporter on the street things. We'll put a microphone in your hand. I'll do the camera. We'll go down to Texas and see if we can get some interviews with some coyotes and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, as soon as the money starts coming in, dude, we'll plan that. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on to the next one. Oh, you're speaking of Walmart. Walmart becomes latest major corporation to axe DEI policies.
What are DEI policies?
Diversity, equity, inclusion.
Oh,
Hire people based on their color instead of their skills.
okay. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and beat this dead horse one more time. Okay. It doesn't matter whether you're doing it for someone's detriment or to their benefit. If you are making your decisions based on the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. If you're making a decision based on the color of their skin, you're racist. Doesn't matter if it's for their good or for their bad. If your decision is based on the color of their skin, you're racist.
Because
Okay?
even for their betterment, what are you telling these people? They
Yeah.
don't stand a chance unless we help you.
Yeah.
You're not
If you are
uplifting people and
making-
saying you can do this.
If you're making a decision about an individual based on their gender, it doesn't matter if it's for their benefit or for their detriment. You are making a sexist decision. Okay, the list goes on and on and on. This stuff is stupid. It's been stupid from the very beginning.
Right.
And you know what? My hat's off to Walmart for finally realizing that. Good job, guys.
Do you think this is because Trump won?
No,
No, you don't
No.
think they would have
No.
kept this if Trump didn't win?
no. I mean, look, let's be honest. Okay, the president really doesn't fucking do a whole lot of shit. Okay, like, yeah, they get some executive orders, they can veto some shit, blah blah blah
No.
blah blah. In the grand scheme of things, they really don't fucking do shit. Okay,
No, I think you're missing my
corporations
point,
run
though.
America, not the United States. Okay, and at the end of the day, Walmart, being the evil corporation that they are, realized that this stupidity was affecting their bottom line. Okay. You pick the person who is most well qualified for the job.
Well, I
That's
don't.
what's good for your bottom line, not diversity.
I want to. I want to.
Ability is what's good for your bottom line.
Yeah, I want to agree with you because I want to believe that that's what these corporations are about, but I don't believe that. I just don't. And
They're
I think
about
it
their
is.
bottom line. If you think anything is more important to a
Well,
corporation than money, you're naive.
well, you say that. No. I don't disagree with that, but I don't think it was really hurting their bottom line. I
You
think
don't
it
think?
was. No, I think it was in small amounts. Well, even look at
Okay,
Kamala
if you,
Harris.
okay. Well, hang on a sec. Okay, even if you put a moron in charge, like, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a major role. Like, you can say a department assistant manager. Okay, if because that person is a moron, you're looking at increased shrink or
Yeah,
shit inventories or blah 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 blah.
no,
That's money.
no. I'm not arguing
Look,
your point.
I
I'm
spent
saying,
plenty of time in retail. Okay, the closer to the bottom of the food chain you are, the more money you can cost
yeah,
somebody.
I'm not saying that your point's not valid. I totally agree with your point. What I'm trying to illustrate is that if you've got greedy, selfish, rich people keeping you afloat, look at the mainstream media. They've been garbage for years. And people were believing it because there's corrupt, rich people holding them up. They're paying these people. You got,
Okay, but who's holding up Walmart?
I don't know, dude. I don't know who's holding up
NASCAR
Walmart.
loving, fucking Bud Light drinking, back a chewing motherfucking Americans is what's keeping Walmart open.
Yeah, well, because they have to. I mean, Walmart is pretty much my top choice here. I have to go to Walmart if I want to get something out, unless I'm going to, mail for it. But that's my point is that people have to keep these companies up, whether they're woke or not. Now, if the product got so bad that people wouldn't go, like Bud Light was just an example, but people had alternatives to Bud Light. People probably didn't even like Bud Light at the point. Most of the people that were against it. I
That's because
just
Bud Light's disgusting.
my point is you're 100% right and accurate. Yes, the bottom line when the dollar hits, yes, people will change their thing. But my point is I think Walmart could have survived, and if Kamala Harris had won, they'd still be surviving and they'd still be doing DEI. The point is that when Trump won, the public told them, "We're not playing this game anymore. That's why we're voting for Trump."
Nope.
That's what I think. I think it's the victory for Trump. It's not about the president. It's not about his decisions. It's
I
about the
no,
people supporting him.
I think you're putting. I mean, I can see what you're saying. Like they view the election not necessarily in terms of the individuals, but in
Yeah,
the temperature of public opinion,
yeah.
right? Okay, I get that, but I feel like you don't make a decision like this in the matter of weeks. And let's be honest, okay, the election was what, 3 weeks ago? Okay,
Hmm.
you don't make a decision like that in not in a corporation the size of Walmart. You don't make that decision in 3 weeks. Okay, this has been something that they've probably been tracking for months.
I'm sure they have. Yeah, I
Right.
think they
So I
even
mean,
saw that.
this is a data driven numerical decision, and ultimately it's affecting their bottom line, and that's why they're doing away with it.
Yeah,
That's
but
my guess.
but think about because you can't dismiss the public because that's the stuff that was happening. Not even just the public, the things like the
Okay.
Blackwater,
Well, maybe the fact that they're
Black Cross.
making it a headline rather than just doing it and not telling anybody about it, the public opinion could be the reason for the headline.
Right.
But
And
I
if
feel
they
like the decision
yes.
itself is probably just purely
But
numerical.
that's my point. If Kamala Harris had won, they would never be public about this.
Oh yeah, but
Never.
they'd still be doing it
Well, I would hope so. I would hope so
because it's
until
affecting their bottom
somebody's
line. But
right.
yeah, I feel like the the temperature of public opinion is why it's a headline versus just a a corporate action taking place without some level of pomp and circumstance or whatever.
Yeah, well, as long as everyone starts to get on this trend, because that's what it is. That's what it's like. You've seen the video where the one person gets up, starts dancing. That they show at the leadership meetings at the the outdoor concert. The one guy gets up, starts doing his crazy dancing, and everybody's just kind of looking at him like he's crazy. And then another guy comes, and two of them are doing it, and everybody's looking at him like crazy. By the time the third guy shows up, within minutes, the whole place is up there doing crazy dancing. That's what it's like. Walmart's not doing this to be a leader. Walmart's doing this because other people are doing it. Now they know it's okay to get rid of DEI.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
They've but again, like I said, it's all numerically driven. This is a bottom line decision. They jumped on the bandwagon because everybody else was doing it, and now, oh, it's cool. We can stop doing this dumb shit now. Is it? Oh, okay. It's cool. It's cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, dump that shit, Steve.
Right.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the reverse goes to people have been canceled, companies have been called to the carpet over not supporting DEI and trans and Black Lives Matter and things like that. So I think even companies, when they know it's going to hurt their bottom line, will still kneel to the pressure. Still think they will, and I think that's what happened. I think the NFL, you saw a perfect example. You saw it. The NFL is still to this day. I saw it in the Carolina Giants game in Germany. I think end
No, the kneeling's
racism,
banned.
end racism, do all this stuff, all still in the thing. Like, I mean,
Well, yeah, it's on the end zone at yeah, they get to
right,
put
right.
that little
So,
message right on the back of the helmet, but they have a selection of preloaded messages. There's like 4 or 5 different ones that they're allowed to choose from, but it's like,
yeah,
you know, it takes all of us and something 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 or whatever, but like that was the concession between like the players union and and the NFL. The NFL was
right,
like, look, we're done with the kneeling bullshit, because the NFL took a massive hit financially speaking, because again, these are all evil corporations and it's all about what makes them money. They don't give a fuck what you think one way or the other. It's
yeah,
all about whether or not you will spend your money with their business or not. That's all that matters.
yeah.
But
And
the
funny,
concession was with the players union in the league was that they get that little thing on the back and then they get that little band at the end of each end zone.
right. So this will tie right into the next thing. Former U.S. CEO pleads guilty to shipping goods to sanctioned Chinese entities. So this just to stay with the corporation, and this really, this headline itself is boring, and it doesn't really have a lot of information, and I didn't care about that when I saw it, because the thing I wanted to talk about is this is right here. This is what makes the arguments between conservatives, liberals, Democrats, what makes it so difficult. Because the one side wants to say, all these corporations are evil, you can't trust them, blah blah blah, and even you almost made an argument for that just now, that it's all the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? But then on the other side, they'll say, well, without these corporations, you wouldn't have these hundreds of thousands of jobs and all this other stuff, and not every
Yes, you would.
corporation, well, I don't really believe you would, but who's
Okay. Well,
going to build a factory?
no, no, no. Hang on. Okay. So if Walmart evaporated tomorrow, do
Mhm.
you mean to tell me that you think that your town would go without a grocery store?
No, because somebody else would come and build the next
Okay,
Walmart.
exactly. Thank you.
But that's my point. But then he would become the evil corporation. My point is, I don't think that the people on the other side are wrong. I
I'm not
think,
I'm not saying that the corporations are evil.
well, that's
I'm
what they're
saying
saying.
yeah, I'm saying a corporation by definition, its existence in the world is to create a profit for its shareholders. That's what it's here for.
Right. I guess the
People eat food and make turds. That's what we do. That's our purpose in the world. Corporations eat souls and make profit.
but
That's
that's
what they
right.
do.
So this is what I'm saying is that people in themselves inherently, when they get too big, tend to be tempted by the devil and the evil and all that stuff. So that's why they say corporations are bad. And are you making the argument we don't need corporations?
No.
Right. You're making the argument that once one gets taken down, another one comes up. So
Yeah,
they're saying
exactly.
corporations are bad, they're greedy and all that. And I want to push back and say, no, they're not all bad and greedy, because they do bring good into the world. But
Who is the largest non-governmental employee in the United States? Or employer?
it's not
Largest
Walmart.
non-government employer in the United States of America is Walmart.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's Walmart. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you go
Employs
ask
more
anybody who works at
Americans than
Walmart.
anybody outside of the US government.
You go ask anybody who works at Walmart, they don't get paid enough, they get treated poorly. Now, that could be a social thing, just I never make enough money, whatever. But it also could be very true. They
Well,
could
I
be
mean,
not
it's
taken
also,
care of.
well, hang on a sec. So if you go and you talk to a person who works in a skilled position under the Walmart umbrella, I'm sure they're making fairly good money. Okay. Your average cashier, shelf stalker, blah, 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 are making above average wages for their industry, but it's an unskilled position. So no, it doesn't pay a whole lot of
To,
money. That's the just
okay,
that's the reality of it.
but compare that with a company like Google. Compare that with a company like Google.
Does
Like
Google employ a lot of people stocking shelves?
no, but they employ a lot of useless people that sit and do absolutely nothing because people are showing videos of their day. Look, oh, I get to go to the spa when I get here. I go to the gym. I could go eat this lunch, and then I sit at my desk for 20 minutes and monitor this or
That's not
comment on
an
this.
look, I would bet dollars to donuts that that is not an accurate portrayal of what their workday is day in and day out. Yes,
Well,
Google
it's what their
does have all those.
TikToks show them.
Well, yeah, but okay. How many videos does your average person post of their daily life on Facebook? Now they'll post a shit out of some videos of their vacation and the family trip, and everybody's smiling and blah 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 blah. But everybody knows that's not an accurate portrayal of what their life really looks like. People post the highlights.
Well, I understand that,
Okay.
but even
Now
when
my
Elon
girlfriend
bought
works at Google.
X,
Like she ran the coffee shop at Google.
but even when people or when Elon bought Twitter, he cleaned out that stuff. People were getting paid to do absolutely nothing or very little, not even contributing, getting paid pretty good, taken care of. Now, I don't believe in that like as a work ethic, but I guess the challenge in all this is just like from the headline, this guy's obviously doing stuff he's not supposed to be doing. But at what point do the greed affect the staff? You know, at what point does that become the issue? And I'm just going to tell you from personal experience because you're bringing in anecdotal stuff, anyways. You know, when I was doing security for, you know, the hockey rink, that company, they don't take care of their people. They treat everybody like crap, and all the profit goes in and goes up to somewhere else. Like it would be so easy.
Which is why Reagan's economic plan didn't work.
Well, I don't know enough about that to comment, but my
Well,
point is,
so Reagan's whole plan is, trickle down economics, right? Like you put more money in the hands of the people that create jobs and blah, 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 blah. And that money's supposed to trickle its way down through the economy, right? So by feeding the rich, you inadvertently feed the poor by all the rich spending to make more money and blah, 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 blah. But the reality of it is that just more of that money got retained at the top. Yes, some of it did trickle down, but it was like, it wasn't 60 or 70 or even fucking 40%. It was like 5 to 10% that ended up working its way down. And just most of it got retained in the upper crust, which is a large part of why you see the vast growth in the wealth disparity.
right, but also the reverse is not true either. You can't just hand a whole bunch of poor
Oh,
people
no,
money
no,
and
you
think they're going
can't.
to lift
No,
themselves out of poverty
absolutely not.
because
No.
they'll go buy a new car or something like that and just pay the rich people,
Oh yeah,
and
no,
then
no,
they'll be
no, no,
broke.
no. I'm not shitting on Reagan. I mean, I'm just
Right, right.
saying, it was, you know, it, you'll hear a lot of people still tout that, but I mean, it was a good idea. It was a novel concept when he tried it. It didn't pan out.
Well, like because I think the problem is this: is that inherently you're dealing with one thing, people.
Yeah,
And I think the problem is we need to treat people. We need to stop worried about all the other stuff because people are what makes everything.
bingo.
You need to teach people to save money so that they can be successful, not to, be poor and always looking for a handout or go to crime because there's no other options. Well, there is other options. You're just not willing to do them. You know what I mean? It's like you're not willing to bust your ass working at McDonald's and saving everything you can so that your kids can have a better future. And that's the argument we have now is that these rich people at some point their parents did that. Not all of them. Obviously, there's a lot of crooks and thieves in DC, so their kids are going to benefit from that. But yeah, but even at that, you can almost argue. I guess here's the problem: is we're trying to regulate good versus evil, and that's never an easy thing to do. When you take any plan, you can apply it to good. Evil will always find a way in it, or use it to their favor. You can create a cure for cancer, and then somebody evil will come along and buy them all up, and then charge you money anyway. Like so, there's always evil going to enter the ground. So
Well, I mean, it's and even if you, I mean, it doesn't even have to be that cut and dry. I mean, humanity is like every other force of nature. Okay. The path of least resistance is the path of least resistance. Okay. Everything in the world, water takes a path of least resistance, electricity takes a path of least resistance, and humanity at its core is no different than any other force of
Hmm.
nature. The path of least resistance. Okay. You have an aspiration for what you want, right? Whether you can admit it or not, psychologically, somewhere in your subconscious, you have a bar that has been set. Okay. And you're going to do the bare minimum required to reach that lowest acceptable bar to you. And that is where you're content.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. Like I said here, let me move this next one. See, this is my point here. This is why both sides are right. Big Pharma still won't come clean about COVID shot deadly side effects. Like, this is my point. Is this
What
is
deadly
some
side effects?
you don't know because they won't come clean about them. Oh, the heart issues and things that people have been having. Well, we can hold on. We can have the whole COVID argument in a minute. Let me get this point out first. But this is my point because if they did, that would hurt them, right? So here comes along this disease that they're calling, the deadliest thing in the world and all that stuff, and whatever your opinion on it doesn't matter. They believe it's a very serious deadly virus. So here they're saying they have a cure for it, but yet there's so much secrecy and money behind all of it. What were your intentions? Were your intentions to cure people, or were your intentions to be the first to create something off government money and then get rich selling it? Like, what were your intentions? So if it was this bad, you should have been doing it for humanity. And if it cost something, the government did fund it. But why are you profiting from it now? Because this was for humanity. This wasn't for big pharma companies to get rich. You right there tells me that something's wrong. And it works the same way, even if you go into things like mental health. Like mental health, you got all these people popping up that want to now sell you these mental health cures and all this stuff. And why aren't you just helping people? Because you can make money off of it. Now, granted, I understand if you're using your time to show up to, sit and counsel
I
somebody
was going to
or
say, be careful, Jim. You're starting to sound like a socialist.
right. Well, but I'm saying inherently. Well, I always go back to Jesus Christ didn't charge anybody. That's what I'm going back to. But my point being is, if it's for
Jesus
humanity,
Christ was probably a socialist.
I doubt that. But the point I'm getting at though is if it's that good for humanity and you're trying to help, you act like I got into this pharmaceutical industry to help people. You're full of crap. You got into to get rich because you saw an opportunity. So I just wish people would be more genuine instead of us trying to figure it out. And that's what creates, I think, this rift between sides. Like, oh, they're helping. Oh no, like I just don't get it. And then the proof is when you see stories like, those. I guess there was a conference. I don't know how true it
Okay,
was.
well,
Somebody was,
hang on a
yeah,
second. Hang on a second. Okay, so let me ask you something.
yeah.
Why can't you do both?
Do both what?
Why can't you help humanity and make a profit?
You can.
Okay, so let's say hypothetically, just
Hmm.
for argument's sake, okay, let's say this miracle COVID medication or whatever costs them $10 to make it, right?
Right.
Costs them, $50 million in research costs to develop it.
Hmm.
Okay. It costs them $10 once they figured it out after they've spent the 50 million to develop it. It costs them $10 to manufacture it. Okay. How much should they be allowed to sell it for? I mean, how long does it take them to recoup their $50 million in research money?
Well, that's saying they paid for that 50 million in research. The government gave them money to do the research.
No,
We
no, 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 no,
paid
no, no,
for
no,
their
no, 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 no.
research.
Okay.
Are you talking
Okay.
about just anything?
Yeah. Just anything.
Okay.
Like, how long? Okay, so it takes them 5 years to develop it, $50 million. So we're looking at
Right.
$10 million a year in upfront costs that they've incurred to develop this drug. Okay,
Sure.
cost them $10 to make it. How much should they be allowed to sell it for?
Well, I think that would go in their overhead. But but let's see the transparency of that, though. See that this here the problem. We can sit here and play this game, right? So okay, let you say 10 million a year. So we've got to make back our
okay,
10 million.
but hang on a sec, okay? So if you're selling, cardboard Donald Trump cutouts at your
Mhm.
yard sale, is it does the customer at your yard sale get to come up and ask you how
Do I
much?
need that? Do I need that? Will this save my life?
It's
No, you're talking about
but
two different industries here. You're talking about wants and needs. If people need medication, if people need EpiPens and insulate, all that stuff, why would we be selling them for 500, especially when you go to other countries and they're cheaper? So don't give me the crap that, oh, well, we spent all this money. And then, so what? You did all the research and then the other company just took it?
I completely agree with you on the insulin thing. Okay, like we've had the nut cracked on insulin for fucking decades now.
But it's
Okay,
not just
if you
insulin.
haven't hang on a sec, I'm going on case by case basis
All
here,
right,
fucker.
all right, all
Okay,
right.
okay, if you haven't researched or if you haven't recouped your research costs on insulin by now, then you're probably running a shitty business and you're out of business.
Right.
Okay, they've recouped their money.
Right.
Okay,
But they're
so
funding
hang
other
on,
things with that money now.
yeah,
It's an
but
income, it's a source of revenue now.
right.
So they're
So,
not going
well,
to give it up.
no. Hang on a sec. But I'm
Mhm.
saying that, yeah, they're manufacturing something. They should be able to make a profit for it. Okay. But if you are a legislator, okay, you're the one in charge here, Jim. You are
Mhm.
fucking Lord High fucking Conqueror of America. Okay. What are you telling Big Pharma? Okay. What are you allowed to sell it for? Okay. It costs them $10 to make an insulin shot. What are they allowed to sell it for?
What are they allowed to sell for? Well, they're allowed to sell. It's a free market. Sell it for
No,
whatever they
no,
want.
fucker, I'm asking you. You're the one who's complaining about the
Oh,
price of
what I
their
would
meds.
do, what I
How
would do
much should they
personally,
be allowed to sell it for?
what I would do personally is
Yeah.
when you get any penny from government people, if you get any taxpayer dollars, I will tell you what to sell it for. If you do the research on your own, you discover it. I may not like it. I can call you the meanest, nastiest
Fucker,
person
we're
in the world.
talking about insulin. Insulin's been around for decades.
Well,
Nobody's recouping
I
research
can't
costs
tell
on
them.
insulin.
I can't tell them because I have no, unless we gave them the money to research it.
But you're saying, oh, it's a need. It's not a want. It's a need.
Yes, yes. So if you were to take your factory and you would put it in Mexico and they would steal your intellectual property and then sell it out the back door cheaper, what does that prove to people? You can sell it cheaper. That's the point I'm getting at. Is we have a mentality of more and more and more need. Oh, I need this because I need it. I have a lady and just it irks me to death.
Okay. Well, hang on a sec. So,
Yeah,
that urge that you're talking about is called supply and demand. Okay. It's
not
page
always.
one
Not
of,
always.
yes, it is. That's
No,
exactly
no.
what it is.
No,
That's
no, no.
exactly what you're talking about. Supply and
No.
demand.
No, that's different, dude.
No, it's not.
I'll give you a different scenario. I'll give you a total different scenario. Similar thing, photography. You go out, you're the best photographer in the world, so you're worth a whole bunch of money. You go capture the rare footage of a monkey making love to an alligator. You take that picture, and all of a sudden that picture is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But then everyone after that is just pixels and paper, but you're still going to charge the same price. For what? You captured one moment, and it was worth a lot of money to you. But now every print after that is going to cost the
But
same as the original capture.
this goes back to your want and need.
Right.
Nobody
But that
needs a picture of a monkey fucking an alligator. As much as I would love to see that, I could get that on
AI
some
generated.
fucking AI generated thing.
So I
which
guess then
is
shift the
not where
argument
I'll be
this way.
going as soon as we're done recording this.
Then shift the argument this way. Then I'm not a socialist. I don't like big government. But then medical vaccines, treatments, all that stuff maybe should be controlled by taxpayer dollars, period. Period.
Or at least none run by nonprofit organizations.
And if the government wants to pay this private company to create a vaccine, then the government owns it when they're done. So then the government can give it out because the people paid for it. You don't charge people. You give it out because we already paid for it.
I agree with that.
And then you get to buy it
And
at
coming
cost.
from a staunch anti-vaxxer, I'm loving this side of you, man. You're turning a little
I'm
purple
not
right now.
anti-vaxxer, dude. I've never been anti-vax. I'm anti-COVID vaccine because exactly that. they pushed the crap out, and there was no control around any of this stuff. There was nothing to regulate these people. And the big fact that they wanted to seal this information for like 50 years or 75 years, it tells you something. The big fact that now the government made big pharma immune for all of their vaccines, and then all of a sudden it went up to 52 required vaccines or something from 12. Like, that's all should tell you something. You're allowing these corrupt people right here that are trying to profit off of this stuff to be immune from anything, so they're protected. So why not keep doing what you're doing and keep making money? Like, this is the stuff I think people complain about. No, I don't want the government controlling everything, but if we're paying for it, that cost should be to us
Yes,
nothing or
I
minimal.
completely agree with that, because I mean that comes back to the same stance where, if you create some magnificent new invention while you're working for another company, that invention does not belong to you.
Right.
If you did it on company time, that invention belongs to the company. Like, my dad, when he was alive, worked for a company that manufactured automotive filters. Okay, so him and this other guy, they created this fantastic new oil filter. Blah 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 blah. My dad's got, like, I don't know, I think it's 3 or 5. I can't remember. Anyway, I think it's an odd number. Either way, 3 or 5 patents, with his name on it, and this other guy's whatever. He doesn't see a fucking dime from that.
But he should. He should be compensated. Done.
Well,
You did
he
it?
got,
Thank
got
you.
his hourly wage or whatever.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Because he
That's what they're
owns
paying him
the
for.
dime, they own it
Right.
in perpetuity. They're not paying him in perpetuity,
Right.
but
But I agree with that. And I think it's the same thing flips over to like education. Do I think everyone's education, community college at least, should be free? I think so.
no.
Well, I do. No, let me hear me
Well,
out.
no, hang on a sec, because you're using the F word. Okay. And I don't like the F word, because the F word is lie. There is no such thing as free.
Well,
Elementary school is not free.
correct,
Okay.
correct.
You're
Well,
not
what I
paying
meant,
for it
yes.
directly as the student, but it's not free. Don't use the F word, Jim. Come
Right.
on.
So I think even at that, you should be given a choice because taxpayers have put into the fund of education or military. You give it a choice. You want to go to community college or you want to go serve in the military. One of those is mandatory. That's it. And then it is
What?
essentially
No,
on
no,
the
no, no.
taxpayer
Fuck that.
dime.
I had to join the military just to pay for my community college.
Well, you can do
You
it
mean
while
to
you're
tell me I could have taken one and not the other?
well.
That's
That's my
horseshit.
point.
My
But
knees
but
hate me right now.
but right now, you don't take other people's tax dollars who chose not to go or paid off their loans to pay off people who irresponsible didn't pay their loans. Because the problem in this whole scenario is not the intent. The problem is that the government already gives these people FAFSA, all this money to go to a college who inflates their prices because they know the government's paying for it. So it's corruption. So if it costs X amount of dollars for a teacher to teach this subject, then that's what you should be paying, not paying
Well,
into some college.
look here. I feel like, what they need to do. Okay, so it's like there's so many places where they gouge you, right? And, like, if you go to college on a
Books.
GI Bill, right? It doesn't matter where you go. I live in South Carolina. If I want to go to fucking Alaska Technical Institute, which I don't even think is a real thing, but, like, if I decided that's where I wanted to go to school, they'd charge me out of state tuition because I don't live in Alaska,
Right.
right? But the GI Bill says, no, the fuck you're not. This is US dollars. You're all US states. In-state tuition is the max we're paying, which is fine, right? And if that's the way they want to run things, then I don't know why out-of-state tuition is a thing at all.
Right.
It's stupid.
Because it gives them more money.
So, if I mean, I've already told you I think I might have mentioned this to you offline about, my take on the student debt thing. But, like, if you're going to look at student debt, okay, look, I get it. It's that there's fuck tons of student debt out there. But I mean, I feel like, every couple of years they just need to do a chart and go, hey, look, this is where we're starving at as a nation for employment. Okay. Do I think that a guy that, or gal, whatever, an individual, right? You got to go gender neutral, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
You got
You-
to.
the that was a joke, y'all. Anyways, so a person goes to college, right, to be a cardiologist. Okay, there's a massive shortage nationally for cardiologists in this country. If a person has the intellect and the ability to go through all that and complete it and blah 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 and do well at it, do I think we as a country should help that person get to that goal because they're helping us as a country and fulfilling a need that we have with a vocational vacancy? Yes, I think we should help that person. But do I think that some fucking hippie that goes to school for, you know, 8 years with 4 semesters abroad to get a degree in underwater basket weaving? No, fuck that guy. We're not paying for shit. Now, I'm not saying that education for the sake of learning is a bad thing. It's not, but it's also not the taxpayer's responsibility.
Right.
If you are going in and learning a vocation that is beneficial to society as a whole, if you want to go learn to be a cardiologist or uh, a veterinarian or an electrical engineer, these are all things that we've got, shortages of in this country where we have gaping holes in our employment, then yes, I feel like that's not a bad candidate for somebody to go, oh, hey, you're doing us a solid here, and throw that fucker a bone because yes, they're learning a job so that they can make a good living as a productive member of society, blah, 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 blah. But again, it goes back to our, can you help the world and still make a profit at the same time? Yeah, you can. And I feel like those people should get something tossed their
Well,
way if
it's
they're able to do that.
meritocracy
Yeah.
because the people who work harder should make more money. I agree with that.
But that's not to say that the fucker with the degree in underwater basket weaving didn't work hard to get it.
Right. And again,
I'm just saying his contribution to society with a degree in underwater basket weaving is probably not going to be as impactful as the cardiologist, as the civil engineer.
But again,
or,
again, you can go back to what you talked about, supply and demand.
yes.
And I don't want to keep going to this, but there is a reason that a guy who throws a football is now being benched for $82 million and he's sitting on the bench. Well, no, he just got traded to Vikings, but there's a reason.
Him for the Vikings? I thought they just cut him altogether.
Yeah, well, they cut him. That's what I meant. Yeah, they cut him. Vikings signed him. But so there's a
that's
reason.
okay.
Is a reason that this man is making $82 million and his skill is what? What is his contribution?
Salesman. He's a salesman. That's what he is.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, so the supply and demand, apparently people want that crap, but it doesn't help society I'm sure you can make an argument that it does and does in some ways, but it's not like some cardiologist. You know what I mean? So at what point do we have to intervene with people and their idiocracy? I mean, at what point? But I'll tell you what, we'll have to do another episode because we have gone so far on this one. I didn't want to, but let's go ahead and cancel it, pull the pin on this one now, and we'll come back for another one. But thank you for showing up. Thank you all. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Save some argument for next episode, and we'll be back again. Until then, Godspeed.
And pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time.